the AFL, and boy am I excited. Hey guys, I'm Isaac and welcome back to the epic official channel of Isaac Rodgers. In today's video, we'll be predicting the AFL Finals series. It's been a cracking last round of footy. A lot on the line, top 4 decided, top 8 decided, so let's get into it. But before I get started, don't forget to go down there, smash that subscribe button, turn on post notifications so you don't miss any videos. Also, like this video. So now, let's get into it. Qualifying final 1 versus 4, we have Melbourne versus Brisbane. Melbourne are the minor premiers for the first time since 1964. Brisbane have snuck into the top 4 with a bit of controversy. The timekeeper got it wrong. Their equal percentage with the Western Bulldogs, blah blah blah. They kick a point with 7 seconds to go, then another goal to sneak into the top 4, but that doesn't matter now. Is most likely going to be played at the Adelaide Oval. Melbourne, they came from a good 7 goals down. In time of this recording, it was yesterday against Geelong last night. They're looking great, Melbourne, but Brisbane are coming into the finals in red hot form. Not saying Melbourne aren't, but you know, finals is all about momentum. Coming into finals, if you're not in good form, history says you're not going to go very far. So I'm going to tip Melbourne to win this game by a good couple of goals, but I do think it'll be a good, evenly matched contest. We have the Western Bulldogs against the Essendon Bombers. As I said in the last one, it's all about momentum coming into the finals. The Dogs have lost around the trot. They let a massive opportunity go begging, up by like 4 goals to the Power on Friday night, then let it slip. Blow their top 4 chances, which they had in the bag for most of the year. Let it slip in the last month. Bombers, their last 4 to 6 weeks of footy has been sensational. They've been playing electrifying footy. They're a good side. But you know, it's finals. There's no easy games. It's going to be a tight game. It's not going to be an easy one for either team. I know the Dogs have had a great year and Essendon are 8th. But that doesn't mean a thing. It's finals. It's basically a completely new season. I think it'll be a close game, and I think the Dogs will just have the quality to just scrape over the line. Elimination final is Sydney versus GWS. I'm hearing that it's likely to be down in Tasmania at the Blundstone Arena. It's a real good game, this one. A Sydney derby in an elimination final. It doesn't get much better than that. Bragging rights in the city. Who knows what's going to happen though. GWS, they've won 3 on the trot. They'll win at GMHBA against Geelong, was unbelievable. They beat an out of form Richmond and have beaten Carlton too. So coming to this game, they're in good form. GWS, they are a side that can pull off an upset on their recent form. Sydney's just gone and battered Gold Coast in round 23 by 15 goals, which is a big confidence booster. Buddy's only 8 goals away from 1,000. Will he do it this week? Of course he won't. He's not going to kick 8 goals in an elimination final, but I'm sure it'll be another cracker. And I'm hoping for a good game. I think everyone's hoping for a good game because it's the final series. But I'm going to go safe. I'm going to go conservative. I'm going to go Sydney to win the game. Second qualifying final, Port Adelaide v Geelong at the Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide, the only team to technically have a home final. This week, because of lockdown around the country, none of it can be played in the Victoria or Sydney. So we've had to spread it around most of the other spots. But it's still set to be an absolute cracker. Geelong haven't been in the greatest form. They've probably copped the blow in form and confidence after they let an 8-goal lead slip against Melbourne in round 23. But it's still going to be a great game. These two sides met in week 1 of the finals last season where Port got over Geelong. Will the same happen again? I think it will. Will it be as big a margin? I don't think so. Still set to be a cracking game. Adelaide Oval will be absolutely alive and just I hope it's a cracker, to be honest. We have week 2 of the finals, and the first game is the loser of the qualifying final versus winner of the elimination final. Brisbane against the Western Bulldogs. God knows where it's going to be played. Probably the Adelaide Oval. Maybe the Gabba. Who knows? But one thing for certain, it's going to be a cracker. The Dogs are out of form, like I said in that last one. Brisbane are in form. So, it's basically pointing towards a Brisbane win. But I don't think it'll be as simple as that for the Brisbane Lions. The Dogs beat Brisbane in the only contest they've had this season, back in round 4, I believe, or round 4 or 5, down in Ballarat in Victoria. They won by a good 4 goals, I think, but a lot has changed since then. It's a final, it's a semi-final, preliminary final spot on the line against Port Adelaide. Who will win? I think it'll be Brisbane. And I think it'll be Brisbane fairly comfortably in the end too. Final, Sydney versus Geelong. Again, I don't know where it's going to be played. If it was a normal, perfectly normal COVID-free world, it would be at GMHBA or the MCG or whatever, but there's no guarantees for that because the AFL take money over no money, and no crowds means no money. So it's a game that Sydney have the capability to cause an upset over Geelong, I think. Do I think it'll happen? No. Do I think it can happen? Of course it can. And that's what we love about finals footy. Anything can happen. So unpredictable. But I think Geelong will have enough class to get over the top of the Sydney Swans in this game, regardless where it's played. I reckon Geelong are too good to go out in straight sets, so I reckon they'll get the job done over Sydney. Last weekend of the 2021 AFL season, the preliminary final weekend. I believe it is the best weekend of footy for the year. 2 games, 2 spots in the grand final up for grabs. And the first is Melbourne versus Geelong. These 2 sides played out a belter in round 23, which was just yesterday at the time of recording this video. But it's preliminary final weekend. Will Melbourne make their first grand final for I don't even know how long? Or Geelong show their class? I think it'll be a very, very tight game. Obviously, Melbourne haven't won a premiership since 1964. Geelong haven't won a premiership since 2011. So, can Melbourne win and get into a grand final and play for that spot to win a premiership for the first time in, 56 years or whatever? Or will Geelong show their class? It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a great battle. I know that for a fact. It's not going to be a blowout. Both sides have major ball winners in their team. But I think for Geelong, it's this season or never. And, it's a tough one to pick. But though the minor premiers are the best side all year, I can't go against Melbourne to make a grand final. Second grand final spot up for grabs, Port Adelaide versus Brisbane at the Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide, week off after winning the qualifying final against Geelong. Will that benefit them? Of course it will. There's been no pre-finals bye at the end of this season, so that means teams have less time to rest. So whoever wins the 2 qualifying finals will be massively benefited, and Port Adelaide in front of their home crowd against a red-hot Brisbane side. I'm sure it's going to be a cracker. It'll be a game of inches. It'll be a really close game, in my opinion. Last season, obviously, these 2 sides were the 2 sides to miss out on those grand final spots to Geelong and Richmond. But one of them will be going one better than last year. One of them will be making a grand final. Who do I think it'll be? I think it'll be Port Adelaide. I think home ground advantage, massive Port fan base behind them. I know Brisbane been up and about in the last couple of weeks, but I think Port Adelaide will be too strong. They will make their grand final at last. It's the 2021 grand final week. Port Adelaide to be taking on the Melbourne Demons. Port Adelaide haven't won a grand final since they stopped the Brisbane three-peat in 2004. Melbourne, with the longest premiership drought in AFL history, haven't won a grand final since 1964. Who will be taking home the premiership this season? I'm not sure. It's going to be a great game. Both sides have unbelievable ball winners in the middle, and I feel like it's going to be a game just based off that. Whoever wins the battle in midfield, I believe will win the game. Obviously, both sides have got great forwards, great defenders, but I feel like the midfield in a grand final is so key that whoever can get on top in that position, whoever can get on top in the clearances, whoever can get on top in the bloody balls from stoppages, whoever can get on top of all those midfield aspects, I think will win the game. I'm not going to tell you who wins the game, because like last year's final series, I'm going to go quarter by quarter, and let's see who wins it.
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag, it's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you.